What's up, fam? We are back on the CEO Pulse podcast where you get the real, the raw, and the mind of entrepreneurship. So today we're doing something very special, right? It's a Monday. Everybody has the case of the Mondays. They kick in, and people kind of, procrastinate a little bit on that week. I want to do something. We're doing something very special with the podcast. We're sitting down with Justin Thorstad here. He's one of my dearest friends, and he's going to be my co-host going forward for what we're going to call Mindful Mondays. If you have a better name for it, let us know. We're just kind of working on it. We don't care. The value and the principle is still going to be the same. But it's Mindful Mondays, right? And the whole idea is to tap into the source of that higher energy, higher vibration. We always talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about the processes, the systems, the pragmatic way of doing things. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that every now and then I like to drop in some of that energy work, some of that higher thinking, the connection with the universal connection, and that sort of thing. And I think it's one of those areas in entrepreneurship that's not spoken about as much as it needs to. And my friend here, Justin, that's his bread and butter. So I'm very, very honored to be able to have you on the show here going forward on Mondays, and then co-hosting this thing with me and just putting some massive, massive value out there, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here. And, mindfulness, energy work, manifestation, creation, that's my jam. So
100%, man. It's insane to see the things that have happened in our circle over the last 3 to 5 years and whatnot. And you were actually in the podcast. I think it was episode 18 or something like that. But on the earlier days, and we had a full conversation, full blown conversation. We're going to talk about real estate and strategies and tactics and brokerages, because you own Libertas Real Estate here in the Valley, and it's a very successful real estate brokerage. And then we just ended going into this space, and we never came out of it. The whole thing was about energy work and whatnot. And it's actually it's 90% of that is the type of conversation that we always have whenever we get together. So putting this stuff out there for the audience, I think is going to be amazing. So yeah,
very cool.
Take it away, man. First off, I guess, for the most part, people know me, right? They understand, they know who I am and whatnot, but give us a little bit of background on you, and then we'll start, just pulling threads on.
Yeah, for sure.
We come in.
So, around the time we met, I was leading a team of agents. So back up a little bit, 2014, man, I had great success in business. I was just a single agent, and, I did 61 sides. And pretty good business for just a single realtor. So on the outside, good success financially and so forth in business. But on the inside, everything was just broken, man. My marriage at that time was in the toilet. My health was atrocious. I weighed 63 pounds more than I do today. And
you're half the man you used to be, bro.
Yeah, totally. And still a little ways to go. But, I'm happy.
Too soon?
Inside.
Too soon?
Too soon. And so... anyways, I just started realizing that maybe it's me, maybe I'm the source of all this pain and suffering. And so went into a tremendous amount of personal development, read a ton of books, went to a ton of seminars, and really just started exploring, discovering more about myself and tapping into those energy sources and the universe. And, not to get too woo-woo right in the front here, but really just started reframing my internal representation in the relationship with myself. And from that moment, man, I built this real estate team. And third year, that team did 160 deals without me doing a single one of them. Didn't pay for a single lead, just taught people how to build a business, taught them to have a better relationship with themselves and tap into these things that we're going to talk about. And everyone just became successful really fast. And so that was working, had great success with that. So around the time we met, I was like, I'm going to start a brokerage. I remember sitting around having coffee with the men's tribe, masterminding and stuff. And those were just some incredible times, and still appreciate that to this day. So just barely going into 4 years here, 170 agents, 5 locations. And man, just been able to create this abundance of wealth and liberty in my life and internal peace through these things that we're going to talk about today. And also share the struggles and what did we have to transcend in order to get to that space to where now opportunities come to me instead of me going and hustling, grinding, this matter, trying to influence other matter and becoming more powerful and influencing other energy. And just last year launched JT Seminars, so Success by Design series, and how to awaken to your true potential in life and business. And yeah, man, just super excited. A lot of really cool things happening, and this is gonna be great.
Oh no, absolutely, 100%, man. I think, well, you have to put yourself in that state of mind, right? And that's one thing. And then you have to put yourself in that state of energy. And I think that's a second part that oftentimes it's not, it doesn't become intentional. So, okay, I'm going to think positive. I'm going to be better. I'm going to take step 1, 2, and 3. But at the end of the day, the fuel that drives all those actions, the fuel that drives the intention behind the goals and all that stuff, it's the energy that we're playing in. It's that space that we're creating for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think that a really important detail to discuss is, what is my state of being right now?
Oh.
Everyone wants to say, how you doing? What are you going to do today? And it's do. And listen, action's important, right? Because action creates reaction. But most importantly, what is your state of being? How are you thinking? How are you feeling in that moment? Like, who's showing up to the party? Who's going to show up to that strategy? And, the case of the Monday blues for most people, right? Like, no energy, just don't feel like it. And so this is one of my favorite topics to discuss, and I'm super passionate about. So first and foremost, I just know from myself, from my own experience, and the hundreds of people that I coach, is like, when someone doesn't want to get out of bed on Monday morning, like, you don't spring out of bed before your alarm clock goes off. Like, can we cuss?
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, in my opinion, your shit's broken. And what I mean by that is this. It's because there's just this false choice perspective towards life from that state. Like, I have to get out of bed. I got to go show up to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's all obligation instead of opportunity. And that's just a mindset, right?
Repeat that again, please.
Okay, so you know about me that sometimes things just flow out and I don't know what the hell I said. So, well, basically, again, yeah, if you don't have that purpose-driven mission in life, then everything becomes an obligation, a responsibility. And over time, like, where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, if life is all about obligations, it's how do you turn these things into opportunities? How do you turn your work into play? Yeah. Obligations into opportunities. So that wasn't verbatim what I said, man, but things just flow out.
It pulls on a good thread. I mean, it's because there's so many different ways to play in the spaces that we're in, right? For example, I mean, and we'll focus. I know. A lot of it is going to revolve around real estate and activities, around, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
If we were in the restaurant business, we'd be talking about cooking and whatnot, right? We're both in real estate investments, traditional real estate. We just do everything, in between. So, but it's there's so many different ways to play in that space, right? Playing in a space where you feel like you're making an impact, you're making a change in somebody else's life. You're a broker, however, you're not caught up in the day-to-day stuff. You're empowering people through your seminars, through your trainings, through that higher thinking that it took you a while to get to, right? So that's
for sure.
Yeah,
it's a path. There's a progression there.
Yeah.
By the way, not the broker anymore. I'm owner. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it compliant. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it really comes down to that to that mentality, right? There's so many different ways to play in the areas that we're using as vehicles. But if everything's an obligation, it's you're carrying something as opposed to being carried by something.
That's beautiful. That's exactly. That resonates, how you just said that. Yeah, because think about it. If your life is just full of responsibilities and obligations, like over time, that just gets boring and stale. And now you're just headed towards decay. You're either in a growing state or in a decay state. You just got to pick
100%.
one, right?
Yeah.
And so if you find yourself in that decay state, like, what are you excited about, man?
Yeah.
Like, I believe in the law of compensation. You earn compensation, not money, compensation, in direct ratio to the value you provide humanity. Right? So, like, what are you here to do? What's your purpose? What's your mission? How do you serve humanity? And I believe, just based on my own experience of myself, you clearly, and your results, and all the other people that I coach, is like, when a person not only... I hate when people say, I haven't found my purpose. Like, it's not something that you go looking for. Like, you don't trip over it. It doesn't fall from the sky. All meaning and significance is assigned.
Yeah.
Nothing has any inherent meaning or significance. Nothing. It's all assigned by us and our belief systems. Yeah.
Right.
So when you just take something that you're passionate about, usually comes from pain points and so forth, and you say, okay, this is how I serve humanity. Like my mission in life is to create large organizations that empower others to experience a life of liberty. Liberty of time, money, and our peace. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what pulls me out of bed in the morning. And then the only things that I do are opportunities in alignment with that mission. I mean, this podcast. Yeah. My brokerage. That's why I created it. It's not about just selling real estate. It's about growing the individual and helping them awaken to their true potential, like in all aspects of life, not just creating income. Because what are you going to do with the money? Okay, so you earn $500,000. You earn $1 million a year. Cool. But you're internally broken, low emotional state, no meaningful, deep connected relationships. Like, what are you going to do with the money?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's sometimes there's lack of hindsight when it comes to, okay, I'm gonna aim for all this revenue. You don't even know what the revenue is gonna be for, right? You might hit it, and if you do, you're sitting there with a pile of cash, and that's when people get lost in the the purpose of things per se. So we were talking a couple of days ago. I was talking about internal and external motivators. All right. So you're talking about something that drives you externally, something, like a financial goal, a metric, a KPI, or something that's going to make you feel better because you see it on the board, right? When you hit it, the thing with external motivators is that when you hit them, the motivation is that driver is gone, right?
Totally.
But if you're tapping into your inner source, into your inner self, and your vision, for example, now your purpose, that never goes away. Like how many, it's just keeps going, it keeps evolving, keeps growing along with you, and it really pulls you. Now it's something that's carrying you in your journey, as opposed to you carrying this 9 to 5, or you carrying this tasky, set of.
This is so incredibly important for people to understand, and here's why. Here's the pain point about why this is so important. If you take a look at 2007, 2008 market crash. Yeah. Millions of people lost everything. Yes. How many entrepreneurs during that time frame committed suicide? Like, I forget the statistics, but the rate of entrepreneur suicide skyrocketed. Oh, yeah. Why? Because people were chasing those external things for validation and then put their identity in that. Look at all this money I created. Look at this wealth I have. Look at this net worth. Look at this business that I created. And they assigned their identity to that thing. So when it's taken away, well, then who am I? And now I'm nobody because I don't have that. And I thought that's who I was. That's what I was. And so you take that away from external drivers, you're left with nothing. And now you're purposeless, aimless, right? So having that mission is something, it's like you could take it all away. Like you could take the brokerage, the market could crash tomorrow and it's wiped out. So I built it. I created it. That means I can create anything. Yeah. Right? You take the seminar company, take it away. Cool. I'll create something else. Like what flows, flows. Because I was the creator of it. Yeah. The
self-empowerment is there. The everything around us is a vehicle, right? We can create vehicles for ourselves, for, the people who become, our team, for friends and whatnot, but everything around us it's vehicles. We are the creators of that space.
Totally, you're the source of it.
You have to adopt the energy that's going to drive that creation. It's very important. I'm not saying, by any means, I'm not saying that making money is not important. It's important. No, money doesn't buy happiness. Like whoever said that has never ridden on. I've never been sat on a boat. Have you ever been sat on a boat? No. I've never been sat on a boat.
I don't think money's the most important thing, but if oxygen is, money's right about here. And I say that because money is that vehicle, right? Yeah. Money, it just opens up options in life. Think about it. It determines the kind of healthcare you can have. It determines the kind of vacations you can have. It determines how much you can give back to humanity. It determines what your options in life. Yeah?
100%.
Now, I mean, people can argue that, Mother Teresa didn't have any money and Gandhi and things of that nature. Totally different. But what we're talking about here is what can you create and what do you assign your identity to? Yeah. As I am the creator, or look what I created and that's me, that's who I am. That's my identity. So. Yeah, no,
I mean, completely agree, man. So, case of the Mondays. We were just kind of brainstorming on topics and whatnot, and this is one thing that always pops up, right? Yeah. It's Monday. Like, oh, I don't know. Monday just feels off. I got to catch up on all the bullshit from last week on Mondays. And then Mondays have a bad rep. If I was a Monday walking around, dude, I'd be sad all the time. I mean, I don't know about you, but
Nobody
if
likes
like,
me.
yeah. If I had to come back as a day of the week, if I died and had to come back as a day of the week, I probably wouldn't pick Monday because nobody likes Monday.
No, you probably pick Friday.
Yeah, like Friday, yeah, Thursday maybe even because I'm, it's more of a positive note, and you're, you're coming into the end of the week and whatnot. But Mondays, tend to push them away. One thing that kind of landed perfectly was our schedule. We're both very busy guys, and the one time that opened up. Was 12:30 p.m. on Mondays to sit down and have conversations about mindfulness and higher connection and entrepreneurship and have this exact thing that we're doing right now. So just the fact that it lined up right on the first Monday of you and I kicking this off, I think it makes perfect sense.
Totally.
How do you tackle the week, right? How to tap into that higher source of energy and to drive you through the rest of the week. There's goals, there's, stuff that we aim at, there's accountability, if you're talking 9 to 5, there's always stuff that we have to do, right? But what about that emotional state behind it? What about that energy push that we're just, doesn't necessarily come with coffee.
No.
And like right now we're having coffee,
Yes.
right?
Well, I love the taste of coffee. So,
we like coffee. Coffee's for closers, but one thing to also just keep in mind is what's gonna drive the rest of your week.
Totally.
How are you gonna show up for the week, especially on a bad case of the Mondays, man? It's something. It's common. It's out there.
It is very common, and I think it's common that Mondays get a bad rap because if you look at the vast majority of people, they have an employee mentality, which means, think about it. If you had to get up to go do something you didn't love to do, why would you be motivated?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about motivation too, because I believe motivation is not something you get, it's something you create. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if you want to start exercising, and you're like, it's Monday morning, I don't feel like it. Well, I'm just not motivated. Well, you're never going to be motivated. Where's that motivation going to come from? Like a cup of coffee or like a coach or something? Like, you usually don't feel like running until you're running. And when you're running, then you feel like running. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%, 100%. I'm always just dragging ass when I'm thinking about running, jumping on that treadmill at the house.
Well, people are like, wait until I feel like it. And it's like, you're not going to feel like it until you're actually doing that thing. And besides, why do you give a fuck about your feelings? Why do you got to be in the mood? That's just kind of a tangent, but I really do feel that, again, Monday's my favorite day of the week. I don't live for Fridays. Like, Fridays are cool. I like my weekends. That's typically when I give myself permission to just go be human and do whatever the hell I want, right?
Rest of the week, you're saying the rest of the week you're a robot. You're an android.
No, not at all. That's Monday through Friday is the space I give myself to create.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday is my day to connect with my kids, with my friends, just do what I want to do. I mean, I do that anyways, Monday through Friday, but because I've created that liberty in my
less
life,
responsible way on Fridays.
I'm so immovable on the point that I play all day, every day.
Yeah.
Because everything that I do is through true choices because I said so. It's because of what I want to do, and I created a life that way first in my imagination, right? So Monday morning, it's like, I'm so excited to get out of bed and it's go time. But that's because I got a purpose, I got a mission. And then I've created a vision around, okay, what do I want my life to look like? In all facets, not just business. Because again, with business, like, it better be a cool, perfect self-expression of what I'm doing in my business. Because I get to do this, man. I don't have to do anything. You don't have to earn money. You could go live in a refrigerator box on the side of the street. You could get food out of the dumpster. You could find water. Like, you can get your hierarchy of needs met. You don't have to have what you currently have right now. You think you do. You say, well, I need this house. I need this. I need the car. No, you don't. No, there's a choice to have those things. So if you've created those things in life, like, why not just be excited about it? So again, I think curbing those Monday blues is really about what is there available for me in this life on Monday? What can I go create? What am I about? How do I want to contribute to humanity? Like, what do I get to go do, man? So the practical end of that, okay, so you get out of bed. I mean, I know I have a morning ritual, as do you. We've had many of these conversations. Mine's very simple, man. As soon as I open my eyeballs, I don't touch my phone I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make. As soon as they wake up, man, well, first of all, they probably, the alarm clock goes off, they hit snooze with the same finger, the same amount of times as they did yesterday, last weekday and so forth. And like they're just on rinse and repeat. They look at the phone, they're checking Facebook for notifications, who liked my posts, give me some validation, remind me of who I am, right? And it's all just stimulus that's useless. Like, how do you prime your state? Literally, how do you increase your energy? And so first thing I do as soon as I open my eyeballs, I go sit down at my kitchen table. I write my gratitude, man. I write out 5 things I'm grateful for that exist. Me is number 1. So happy and grateful for my amazing self. I love me completely
selfish.
Just the way I am. Yeah, totally. I am worthy, deserving. I am enough. Like, all improvement I create is simply because I can.
Yeah.
That's number 1. Number 2, I'm so happy and grateful that I fill myself with joy, love, peace, abundance, validation, significance. Thank you. Number 3, I'm so happy and grateful for my kids. I love my babies. Thank you for their health, their safety, and their happiness. You know what I mean? Then I go into, I'm so happy and grateful for my amazing tribe of men. Raph, Fred, Jason, I name you guys. Thank you all for your love and support. I appreciate you. You know what, I connect to that emotionally. That gets my heart in a state of gratitude, man. Gratitude is the state of ultimate receivership. It's giving thanks for it. So it's easy to be grateful for things that currently exist in your reality. Now, what about the things that don't exist in your reality? But what if you were to write them out as if they did? What if you were to emotionally, energetically, because that's what emotions are, emotion, energy and motion, emotions. What if you were to connect to those things that you desire as if it's already here, giving thanks for actually receiving it? And at first it feels like a big fat lie, like not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first learned about gratitude, it's because I was 63 pounds heavier 4 years ago. And a coach told me to do it. Just a small-time coach. He only makes $100 million a year. You might know him, Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
He's like, go sit down and write this out.
Poor guy.
I know,
How does he
right?
survive?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he could probably figure it out, 100 mil a year. So anyways, at the time I weighed 243 pounds. And I was like, okay, if this is going to work, let's go for 200. No, wait. 199. 1 pound under 200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's go big.
I remember when you said that. We
Yeah.
were having a breakfast, and you're like, I'm going to go for 199. Well, that's a stupid number.
It's under 200.
Yeah. It made sense.
Never
It made
been under
sense
200
after
pounds like my entire life, right?
After I processed it, like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. I see the point. point.
So for 90 days, I sat down and, the first 5 that currently existed, like cool, kick, and connect. But when I started writing out those 5 things that didn't exist, but write them as if they do, especially when it came to the weight one, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why the hell I'm doing this. 90 days, but I kept doing it. And one day, man, it just, wait a minute. What if this were to work? Because clearly my way is not working based on results. Yeah? So what if I just borrow this man's belief and I just go all in? What if? And here's what I noticed. I started connecting to the energy of that future experience as if it was here now, and it felt good. Well, that was a better state than my current state, which created the results of being overweight. So I just started mentally, physically rehearsing that future success as if it was already here. So yeah, it does feel like a lie at first, but what the hell else are you doing better with your time than practicing that? Like, when you wake up in the morning, are you defining yourself by a vision of your future, or are you operating from the memories of the past?
Yeah.
Because if you're operating from the memories of the past, that means that we can take your past, pick it up, and put it in your future, and you're going to be predictable.
100%.
Totally.
Also, you're going to have a glass ceiling. You're going to have a cap on anything that you do because you're going off of your past experiences as opposed to that future and forward-thinking growth.
Absolutely. Right? So when I started writing it out and I started actually borrowing that belief and I started actually embodying it, what I was, unbeknownst to me, what I was doing was I was changing my self-image, how I viewed myself. And what I've noticed is, and an excellent book that I strongly recommend, Psycho-Cybernetics, Dr. Maxwell
100%.
Maltz.
Yeah, love that.
It talks about that self-image of like, that self-image is a servo mechanism and it governs all behavior. So it's like a thermostat, right? You set the temperature, and what the thermostat's job is to do is to track the information, and if there's any deviance, bring it back on track. Well, that's what the self-image does. So when I'm saying I am fat, okay, well, that's going to drive behavior. I'm going to reach out for certain foods, certain kinds of activities or lack of activity to keep me in how I believe, how I think and feel about myself, how I view me. And so what I was doing by writing out something different was changing that self-image from I am fat to I have fat.
Yeah.
And so
now it's a situation. It's not an identity.
Exactly. Yeah. So being mindful of the language of the labels and identities that we place on ourselves, which just aren't true.
Yeah.
No. So gratitude, number 1, first thing in the morning. And then As you know, I go sit my ass down and I meditate. And I'll tell you, that is my favorite thing. That's why I do it twice a day. And people are like, well, how long do you meditate? What do you listen to? It's like, none of that really matters. Now, if you've never meditated before, some of that could matter and you want to do some practice and study and so on and so forth. But I just sit down and I put on my meditation music. It's just background, not guided. And man, I just focus on my breath, relax my mind. Because I believe it's a beautiful practice because that mind is just going. And like, if you keep listening to that, you start identifying with like, you are the mind, but you're not the mind. The mind is something you have. Yeah. Right.
It isn't. I mean, it's a tool, right? At the end of the day, like it's a connection. It's the tool, the connection, the pathway to looking at stuff, but we don't know about. I mean,
totally, yeah. And so it's like, are you utilizing your mind as an instrument of consciousness, or is the mind using you and you're a slave to it? Right.
So as you get deeper into studying, for example, subconscious behavior, in the field of psychology, and then in the personal books or personal growth books that we pick up on a regular basis. And, one thing that becomes evident, like through all the research and all the study, is that we actually have the ability to influence our subconscious thoughts, right?
Yeah.
To suggest things and plan things and plant seeds and using the mind as an antenna to just exponentially grow like the impact of those thoughts until they become things. One thing it's interesting what you're talking about right now, but one thing that I was reading this morning. I'm reading the biography by Will Smith, and it's surprisingly good. It's really good,
I've
actually.
Heard that.
Yeah, it's really good. I read that one. I really like the Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. That was a pretty good biography too.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah,
that one
yeah. That's surprising.
I got a cue,
anyway, oh yeah, bro. But one of the things that he was talking about was his grandmother used to talk about or used to say this Bible story, and it's when Lazarus passed away. He was one of Jesus's, and I don't want to get religious here. It's just the story. But he one of his good friends. So the family called Jesus so they could come over, or he could come over and then just bring him back from the dead, right? Resurrect them and whatnot. That's how he tells it in the book. And he's away on doing something, right? He's away on a business trip, just doing his business trip thing. And then he comes back and he goes through, the flight. I don't know. We'll use modern.
Yeah.
He goes through the flights. He goes through the buses. He goes through the trains and taxis and eventually makes it over. And he shows up because he's going to do this thing, right? And then he shows up. And there used to be this tradition where they put this big old rock in the tomb, right, in the cave where they would just bury the leaders of the families. So Lazarus was in there, and then the big ass rock was there, and apparently he turns to the family. He's like, "You called me over to resurrect this person, bring him back in. I had to go through the flights, the buses, the trains, and everything. And you haven't even moved the rock? Like, move the rock.
Help me help you.
Help me help you, right? So I guess the moral of the story there, and I probably butchered it. I know I butchered it.
It's all good.
Yeah, but the point remains.
Yeah.
It's the moral of the story is move the rocks, right? There's going to be energy behind everything that we do that's going to push us one way or the other. It's going to, on a positive note, to accomplish what we want to, set out to do, what we have visualized, what we've been working for, or just, sit on our asses and not do anything. Not have any results at all. The point is, though, move the rock. Do whatever we need to do to move that rock so we can actually get some of that, stuff that we're visualizing, some of that life by design and opportunity. Right?
Totally.
The universe works. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it can. I just know that we can alter our subconscious IQ by meditation, and I keep doing that. That works. I do it. Works. I do it. Works. I do it. I don't know how it connects. I don't know the quantum physics. Yeah.
Do you need to know? Like, no. I don't know how electricity works, but I know if I go flip the switch, the light comes on.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, that's all I need to know.
Yeah. I haven't tapped into the whole, science of the connection, right? And but because I got deals to close, but but I know it works.
Totally.
Visualize it, clarify what you want.
What I love about what you said though is that like what I've come to notice is everything speaks. What you do, what you don't do speaks. And it speaks energetically. It speaks about your commitment to yourself.
Yeah.
And like there's another saying, who you are speaks so loud I cannot hear a word coming out of your mouth. You know what I mean? Like your energy influences you first. Everything you do or don't do speaks. It's either adding to or taking away from what you truly desire. And going back to the subconscious mind, there's another saying, what is impressed must be expressed, right? So what are you impressing all day long? And if you think about it, if you take a look at your current habits, and let's say you're lazy or procrastinator, which I think is just utter bullshit. Those are just fancy little cute labels to cover up what's really going on, avoidance and deflection.
Yeah.
There's a lack of intention. There's a lack of belief. There's a lack of conviction. And you might have attention on a thing of like, okay, this is what I want. But the intention, the belief, the conviction, the connecting to the energy of that future experience and believing that, yes, that's me, this does resonate. There's a lack of that intention. So all these factors come into play. Paying attention, having a clear intention, right? And then just impressing that on the subconscious mind because it's fertile ground. It doesn't care what you plant in it.
Yeah.
If you take a look at your destructive, toxic, negative habits now, your lazy procrastination, like those habits got there somehow. You weren't just born with them. That's complete and utter crap.
Yeah.
Like you just practiced it for so long, maybe since a very young age. So that's really exciting news. Because if you develop those habits and you impress those enough into where now they're being expressed unconsciously, meaning without your analytical awareness, that means then you can reprogram new habits. You can
actually come in and rewire them.
Yeah, totally. It's neuroplasticity. The brain's malleable. Yeah. So what do you want to be about? Well, first you'd have to create that in your imagination, write it down, declare it, so you can remind yourself every single day and keep impressing that. Will it take time? Yes.
That's a version of removing the rock. When you have a vision, when you have something that you're aiming for, that you're striving for, and you're putting your energy forward towards that, objective, goal, achieve, whatever it is, you are moving the rock. So the universe can come in and do its thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're creating a different space that's more allowing, that's more receptive instead of repulsive energy.
I want to tackle the elephant in the room before we start signing off. But it's you said it early on. You didn't believe in writing all these things down, and verbalizing the gratitude. And I'm on the same boat, dude. When I started writing things down, I started journaling, and this is years and years ago. I felt stupid.
Yeah.
I felt so stupid.
Like, don't tell anybody I'm doing this.
It was almost like it was like a shame. Yeah, it was a shameful habit, right? Like I would come in and then I was like, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm drinking a beer. You know what I mean? And it was just, borderline embarrassing for me to break push myself to that point where I was actually expressing, becoming vulnerable, putting my stuff out there for myself. I wasn't even trying to influence anybody. I was just, getting my thoughts into paper, being grateful and having this idea, right? Adopting this idea that being grateful and understanding there's something bigger than us, something, higher energy that just keeps working, in our favor. Like it will conspire in your favor if you just get rid of that fucking rock.
Totally. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And at the beginning, it was really hard for me to come in and then just come to terms with the fact that this is how it works. I don't know. It sounds silly. Gratitude, when you write it down, oh, that's a chick thing. Especially if you're coming from that, manly macho entrepreneur background where like, no, I gotta get shit done.
Yeah, but how's that working for you? And creating desirable results.
Exactly. So one of the things that I want to highlight here, and it's something that you said earlier, is it's give it a shot. If you have something that you want to get better at, give something else a shot. Be open-minded. Do it for 90 days. I mean, and start simple, right?
Yeah, well, it's a law of gestation. Things take time. You know what I mean? So there was another point that I wanted to kind of circle back to. I guess it was just the belief, writing up that gratitude, and then in meditation, when I quiet the mind, using my imagination to connect to that future experience. And the thing about it is, the beautiful thing about our imagination is you can make a thought more real than an experience. Like I walk people through this lemon exercise. They close their eyes, take a couple deep breaths, yada, 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 to spare the time. But by the end of it, there's a biological reaction to a lemon. And it's like, that didn't actually happen. There was no lemon. So how did the body have a biological reaction to a thought alone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your thoughts do have something to do with your state and your energy. And so what are you paying attention to? And so are you using that to create, or are you using that just to reaffirm your addiction to the negative survival emotions, doubt, worry, fear, jealousy, and all these types of things? So like you're either creating or destroying yourself, in my opinion. And so priming your state every single morning. I mean, when I'm done with my meditation, then I do some movement, and then I jump into my, ice bath, and I'm just ready to go. So you got to prime your state, and it's a daily thing. But I'll tell you what, every single morning I look forward to it now. I have my days. I'm human. I have a biology. I have a life, and things happen. There's some days where I'm not quite feeling like it. But I'll tell you what, and I know you can attest to this, Raf, is that if I don't do it, I know how I'm going to be and how I'm going to start my day, and it's going to be in a lower state. I'm going to be less powerful and coming from more survival emotions. I'm going to be more reactive to things during the day instead of responsive. And so I guess when it comes to motivation, like you just got to be responsible to create it and to cultivate it. And I don't mean responsibility as in like fault or blame. I mean, if you break down the word responsibility, ability to respond.
Yeah.
I have the ability to go do this, and I don't feel like it right now, but when I start doing it, then I'm going to feel like it. And when I do it, I'm going to feel good about myself.
One thing, and this might be a little bit of a tangent, but one thing that I do every quarter on new habits that I want to build is I'll pick a theme. I'll pick a theme of just something that I want to improve, right? For example, one is hesitation. My personal theme for quarter one of 2022 is no hesitation. Oh. Once a decision has been made, right, I don't hesitate. I pull the trigger.
So I got a good exercise for you to practice that.
Shoot.
The ice bath. Oh. No, check it out.
Wait, here's the thing.
I'm going to get you.
Here's the thing.
This is happening.
It's going to happen.
I'm committed.
Hey, I got to make the decision first, though.
Exactly. No, but check this out.
No.
I do that for two main reasons. And the first one is it's the ability to give myself a command and follow it. Because when I say get in there, and if there's any hesitation, it's just like, I don't have justification, excuses, why not to do it. It's like that's going to show up everywhere else in the rest of my day. Yeah. Everywhere else, right? So to say, I'm getting in and just go. And when you get in, it doesn't have to be an ice bath, but if there's something that you use as a practice,
right,
to no hesitation, give myself a command and follow it, and then you follow through, how do you feel about yourself?
I actually did it. Last week. So I jumped into this cold-ass pool, which is way colder than what I like. There's no video,
Dennis's
figures. Yeah. I figured you were going to say something like that. But I did it, right? And it's because I was setting up the intention for the quarter, like no hesitation. And then I'm thinking, okay, I'm sitting in a jacuzzi, and then I'm thinking, what's going to be my theme for this quarter? And I'm in this hotel in Hawaii, and I look over, there's this frozen pool next to...
In Hawaii?
Yeah. It's dude, if it's 60 degrees, it's cold. All right? So I looked over, and I don't know, it was colder than normal. Yeah. But
it was colder than the hot
tub. I'm looking at that thing, and I'm in the hot tub, right? And I'm thinking, all right, no hesitation. And then 3 minutes later, I was like, maybe I should jump in the pool. I was like, no, it's cold. And then I'm thinking, shit, I'm hesitating. So I got out and then jumped into the pool. Like if you would have seen that, you would have been proud of me. But
I'm proud of you. I believe you.
But yeah, no, it's just just kind of recap. It's important, right, to get the bearings, early on. If you're gonna set up your week, do the setup on Sunday. That way you're not fucking around on Monday morning and then just not, without a direction, right? If you're working on a 9 to 5, you're creating somebody else's dream. Your dreams, your life by design is being built in those off hours if you're not, an entrepreneur or self-employed, right? And you want to get there. Understand that. But yeah, visualize, figure out what you have an intention of where you want to go, where you want to get to. And if you want to get pragmatic about it, set some SMART goals up and whatnot, but having that intention, that visualization behind it and really getting into it, triggering the emotional response, when you're having this really good meditation and then you're just, the hairs on your skin just get up and then you're all ecstatic and like get to that point, right? Because that's really what triggers the connection. That triggers what comes, behind everything else. And if you have clarity, of where you want to go, you mix it in with gratitude, being thankful about the little things, right? About money. A lot of times it's, you know, oh, I'm not going to be happy until I hit 100,000, 150,000, 300,000, $1 million or whatever. Statistically, it's shown that once you hit $75,000, the level of joy, the joy to income ratio, it's not like it doesn't spike anymore. Like you can do a lot with $75,000. Just keep yourself joyful. So it's not even a matter about, you know, of creating the most wealth or generating the most money. Like it's not gonna drive the big picture, right? You have to take an introspective look at yourself, and create space through meditation. Create space to have your own thoughts, have your own critical thinking sessions. Understand, do a self-analysis of where you're standing every single week. Like I think that's crucial, man.
Yeah. Well, I love what you said too about like the tee up Sunday. Like set that intention. Okay, how do I want to be Monday morning? How do I want to think? How do I want to feel? Who am I bringing to the party here? Because I said so. And again, yeah, if you've got that 9 to 5 and that's what you got to do to maintain and fulfill your obligations, awesome. So when you get off of work, now what are you about? Yeah. Oh, I'm too tired, so I'm going to go home. I'm going to have a beer, and I'm going to turn on the sports or watch my
What
Netflix.
am I about?
What am I about, man? And so it's like,
huge question.
If you create that, you assign that mission, that purpose, you create that vision. Like what I know is I got to save me from me. Do you know what I mean by that? Like I still got some habits and stuff that don't serve me, right? Yeah. Like I haven't arrived anywhere. I'm still a human. I'm still in here, man. And so what I mean by that is like my vision. I printed it off. It's laminated. It's on my bathroom mirror. So every single morning, because I go do my morning practice and then I go get myself ready, right? Yeah. And so as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm reading that thing. I'm reminding myself of who I'm becoming. You know what I mean? I'm using that to define me, that vision of the future, to become that man in all aspects of my life. And so like if I didn't have that in front of me, I'd forget those elements. I'd forget to put attention and intention behind a certain thing. And then a year goes by and it's like, oh man, I didn't create that. Well, I wonder why. I wasn't responsible. I didn't respond properly to what I could have been doing, which is remind myself, impress on that subconscious mind so it can be expressed.
Yeah.
You know? So it's consistency, man.
Yeah.
But when it's fun, when you turn that obligation of, okay, well, now they're telling me I got to do gratitude and I got to meditate. If you turn that into play, if you turn that into opportunity, because you start creating and you start getting the desired results you want, now you have this just stack of evidence that it works.
Yeah.
And that I'm capable. And that if I did that, what else can I do? And
you may not know exactly how it works, but you know that you can come in and then flip the switch.
Yeah.
And make it work.
I mean, when you get that result and not through hard work.
It's undeniable, yeah.
Okay, one last thing. Sorry, I know you want to wrap this up, but
no, you're good.
Gratitude. You remember I was talking about I want to start a brokerage? I'm like, I don't know where to start, man. Like, I got no clue.
Oh, yeah.
And I was writing it out, and I was meditating on it twice a day. Meditation, writing out gratitude in the morning. I swear. I was in my place, and one day, and I get this phone call. This dude calls me up. He's like, hey, I heard you looking to start a real estate brokerage. We've never met before. Yeah. And I'm like, how did you, what? This is a secret. Like, how do you? Yeah. The universe conspired in my favor, man. And with that gentleman, we sat down and have coffee once a week for 90 days, 13 weeks. And I just had a yellow notepad. I was like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? He was my sounding board, man, to just pull it out of me. And then 90 days, I'm like, I got a structure and a framework here.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Let's go.
Yeah.
4 years later, man. You know what I mean? And like I'm living the life of my dreams. Not with the brokerage. That's just one element of dozens of things.
Yeah, but I mean that was the vehicle that allowed you to do everything else, though.
Totally.
Like so you tapped into that, created a platform, and then the vision just got bigger, right? Yeah. The purpose got bigger. It evolved. It expanded along with yourself. So.
And one last thing. Sorry, I'm rambling on here.
No, you're good.
The thing that I
Bro, we're in YouTube and iTunes. Like,
okay, cool.
We can speak for 10 hours.
My number one saying that I like to coin: who you surround yourself with matters. You know what I mean? When I had these ideas, surrounding myself with like-minded, powerful individuals that like know they're creators, know they're powerful, and you may not even have the results yet to prove it, but you know there's something in there that wants to be expressed. You may not even be able to identify what it is, but you know it's there. You start surrounding yourself with other people like that, and you start brainstorming and masterminding and supporting one another, encouraging it. Like, how can I support you? I don't even know what to do. I've never done that before, but I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like, we're in the trenches together. You start surrounding yourself with people that are just doing the 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you really enjoy what you're doing. What I'm talking about is when they get off of work, and it's just like, okay, go in decay mode. So I'm just going through the motions, and then when I get done going through the motions of my obligations, I go into decay. Like, that's not my people.
Yeah.
Now, I know people like that, and I have friends like that. I just limit my amount of time and energy. You know what I mean? Because I'm not saying I'm better than them, not at all. But what I'm saying is I'm here to release my perfect self-expression. I'm here to create. I'm here to spread the wealth of knowledge, information, support, and I want to do bigger, better things.
Yeah.
So who I surround myself with predominantly in the majority of the amount of time that I'm awake really matters.
Absolutely, it does. It does. I mean, you're going to pick up habits, right? You're going to pick up good habits, bad habits, influences, energy from different people who are around you. And it's I've heard it, said before where like, well, no, if you want to be rich and you want to have all this success, you have to cut ties with anybody who's not rich and successful. I think that's bullshit.
Me too. I think
that's a load of crap. I don't care who says it. It's part of the human experience, right? People have different desires. People have different sets of, goals and things they want to, aim, achieve and whatnot. And at the end of the day, there's some people are willing to go through the gauntlet. Some people are not, right?
Yeah.
And as long as they're sitting there and then being happy and whatever, and just in their space, right? That's fine. There's people in my life that will fulfill me at an emotional level that people in my professional, space can't.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they don't have.
absolutely.
It's not about the money. It's not about the
No.
achievements. It's not about that. However, with that being said, like it's the most time that I'm spending my time with, or the most. I said it wrong, but yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, there's people that are not at the same level, if you want to call it that for the sake of simplicity, that I love more than some people that are at that level.
Yeah.
So it's not about, it's an energy thing. But what I'm talking about, and I think you're talking about is, okay, so you have an idea and you're not sure how to bring this to life and you want to breathe attention and intention into it. Go share those ideas. And the people you surround yourself with, those ideas matters. That's why who you surround yourself with matters. Because how many ideas we bounce off of each other and just be like, oh, look at it. And looking at it from so many different ways. And, that matters regardless of what you do as a vocation, regardless of what I do as a vocation. It's that energy of who you surround yourself with.
Energy, man, that's a key. Even if you go to somebody, they may not have the answer, right? But here's the thing. This is what happens at a collective level. Collective consciousness level. I have my consciousness is working. Your consciousness is working, right? And it's not just you and me. We're creating a third connected conscious that's just spitting out ideas left and right. That's what happens when you're in a creative space with somebody else. So yeah, if you're gonna level up, if you're gonna spend time with people who are in that energy, they don't have to be the best and the the biggest pros at whatever, but when just understand that whenever you're sitting down with somebody else, you're creating a third energy. Right there.
That's some Napoleon shit right there. And I'm not able to articulate what that is. I just know it exists.
Yeah.
It's just it's synergetic. It's a catalyst and it's a consensus, man. It just works and it's so powerful. It's so special.
Bro, I'm so excited for the Mondays that are coming up ahead.
Too.
Yeah, we're going to start going live. I think this is a pretty good kickoff. We're just sitting down with a cup of coffee and then seeing what happens.
Start talking.
So anybody listening out there, if you have something that you want to specifically talk about in terms of mindfulness, entrepreneurship, whatever you want to throw at us. We're both successful entrepreneurs. We have businesses rolling. We have teams in place. One of the biggest things that we have in common is the it's the mindset, is the mindfulness of things, right? And that desire to put value out there. So if there's something that you guys want to talk about specifically, shoot it out, drop a comment, let us know. We'll break it in, break it, dissect it. We're gonna start doing lives. I don't know how that's gonna pan out, but I would like to have lives and then have comments come in.
Yeah,
and then
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll move that rock out of the way.
There you go.
Get rid of the fucking rock. So with that being said, this is the first episode of the CEO Pulse podcast, Mindfulness Edition, with my co-host Justin Thorstad. It's gonna be badass, man. I'm excited for the Mondays that are coming.
I am too, man. Yeah, super excited. A lot of fun.
All right, if you like what you hear, do us a favor. Don't be a jerk. Subscribe, like, and share, and then put it on all your social media channels and all that stuff. So, thank you very much. Catch you on the next one. Boom. Stay focused. You got this.